The thing is, Salah wasn't doing what Hazard was doing on the pitch, as in taking the game by itself on his throat and just dominating.
By the scruff of his neck.
Exactly.
It was a Champions League game. Hazard was cooking. He was cooking that in the game, and then I think Meunier came in with like a weird tackle, and then kind of messed up his ankle or whatever it was, and since then he hasn't been the same.
November 26, 2019.
Yeah, Meunier.
What Costa said is right.
100% he's right.
You have these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds that are making probably more money than he made when he played.
Yeah.
And like you might be a little bit jealous.
Sancho's on $300K a week.
Inverted fullback. Center back is in midfield. Midfielders playing on the wing. Strikers playing in the midfield. Is he doing too much?
The football season is back in full swing, and there's no better way to catch all the action here in Canada than on Fubo TV. Whether it's Premier League, Serie A, and Ligue 1, all the matches are right on Fubo TV. And thanks to our friends, we got a code just for y'all. Head over to the link in our bio, sign up, and you'll be blessed with an exclusive 40% off your first month at Fubo TV. And it's not only the football. Tons of TV shows, tons of channels, movies, whatever you want, they got it. So head over to our link, sign up now, and let's get back into the action.
What's good, Footy Culture fam? My name is Matthews, aka Matt, aka Matozinho. Today, coming at y'all with another episode of Footy Culture Podcast.
Yeah.
Once again, joined today by the lads on the couch. Man like Dave.
What's up, boys? You know, chilling.
I thought you were going to do something else, but anyways. Chris.
Yo.
Yo. Jimmy.
Big chillin', man.
And then last but not least,
chilling.
man like Dan.
What's up, everyone? How's it going? Dave's such a goof.
But anyways, boys, sad to say, we've suffered a loss in the football world.
Damn, bro.
Player, not that way. Players hung up his boots. After 16 years, over 700 games played, Eden Hazard has decided to retire. Some say pretty much already retired a few years ago while he was at Madrid, but officially made the call today. Eden Hazard is officially retired.
Let's have a moment of silence for the youth.
Yeah, moment of silence.
Burger King boy.
For Burger Boy.
But anyways, boys, speaking of Hazard, do you guys have a favorite Hazard moment?
Man, I'll start off with this one. I'm wearing red, so it's only justify that his best moment was against Arsenal.
Against Arsenal, eh?
Yeah, when he went through that solo run, body that. Who did he body again?
I don't know. You tell us.
It was your moment, bro. You tell us.
Is it Vermaelen?
I forgot who he bodied, but he just tossed.
Bro, wrong team.
Tossed him.
He said Arsenal.
Versus who?
It was Arsenal versus
Chelsea.
Chelsea. When he went in a solo run, he bodied someone and then he just hit it on the right side. Oh, that was a beautiful moment. That's my moment.
I don't really have a moment. I just have more so like his accolade.
Which
is?
His man of the matches. 100 man of the matches. So he got man of the match in 90% of his games played.
And how many percent?
19.
Oh, I thought you said 92.
No, 19. He's fourth. I think he has the fourth most of this generation.
Man of the
Behind,
matches?
Ibra, Ronaldo, Messi.
No, Messi, Neymar.
I'm not.
Oh,
What?
of course.
Yeah.
Fourth? No.
Man of the matches?
No.
I swear, bro.
It's fourth.
Who's coming with the false
Yeah.
fact?
Most man of the matches.
Yeah, anyway, but that's mine. I don't have a specific moment.
Okay, you search it
So
up.
him being man of the match.
Number 4, Ibra, Ronaldo, Messi.
Who's number 5? Neymar?
5, Neymar.
Yeah.
6, 7.
It's Matthews. You can put it down, man. Neymar's always top.
Neymar's not always the guy.
I said Messi was tall.
No, but
Yes.
at the same time, we can also say Neymar also retired.
Huh?
Oh, no.
Neymar also retired too, no? He's at Salah now.
He suffers these injuries, but he comes back and still performs at a high level.
For Brazil?
Hmm?
For
He's
Brazil?
not-
general.
It's not playing at a high level
You
anymore.
think? I don't
High
know.
level is
Come on, Saudi League.
Kiddies League, bro.
Come on, man.
Whatever helps you sleep at
nowadays.
night, man.
Maybe nowadays.
Let's not get distracted. But yeah, James, what's
Yes.
your Hazard moment?
Hazard moment. Not a moment, but a story.
You guys, this
But
is
No,
But it is a moment.
It's
though.
a moment.
It's a moment
It's
in
a
his
moment.
career.
I didn't witness it, but I heard it, so it sounds cool.
All right.
It was with Leo.
Mm-hmm.
Night before the game, went out with the lads, plastered. Eden Hazard completely drunk.
You were there, bro?
I was there, dude. I was there in the bushes, like a little paparazzi.
That's crazy.
Completely wasted. Next game, turns up, still drunk. Pulls up to the game, hat trick. Leo win. They win the league. Hazard goes to Chelsea. Sayonara.
That's a men's league shit right there.
That's a men's league
he's
shit,
not
bro.
Brazilian and named Ronaldinho.
Nah, he's
That's something Dino does.
Hazardinho.
crazy baller, man. Crazy baller.
But players like that, like you said, are like 1 in a million where they can do that stuff.
They're just this pure, like
pure
they're just
raw talent.
oozing talent,
Pure raw
dude.
talent, and like
Oozer.
like Dino himself, like if he had that mentality to do more,
Yeah.
train more, he could have been at that level. Not saying Ronaldinho, but at the level where he could have reached that. Like everyone thought he was the next guy
Yeah.
up, right?
I mean, what?
At Chelsea, he
Who,
was the
Eden?
next guy
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Low key, like he probably could have been like top 3, top 5 this generation if
Yeah.
he took his game seriously.
100%.
Was he not still though?
No, top 3, no.
He
No,
dropped
top
off.
5. You said top 5.
Top 5 this generation.
Yeah.
In like what, like players,
Forwards or
attackers,
players?
forwards.
Okay, no, forwards, he
No.
probably makes that for sure.
Would you
but-
consider Robin and Ribery part of his generation?
I
Like
guess.
2010 to 2020. Because when did he go to Madrid? 2019.
Something
After they won the Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's when he left. Right after that.
Yeah, I guess you're getting like the end parts of Robin Ribery.
Yeah. I don't know, he did bits though. Top 5, like you can maybe argue, like, but there's some talented players this
No,
generation.
it's still gonna be probably
Suarez
Ronaldo,
and
Neymar, Suarez,
Messi,
Modric,
Lewandowski.
Lewandowski.
A lot of people actually
Top 10.
have.
Yeah.
A lot of people have Hazard as a better prem forward than like people like Cristiano Ronaldo.
Like
Like
all time.
Ronaldo?
People said that before.
Like all
Like
time.
they think all time Hazard is a better prem forward than Ronaldo prem forward.
I see a lot of people saying like he's better in terms of like overall than Salah. Like I see a lot of people making that comparison.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of comparisons against with him and like some of the greatest
Someone
of all
else.
time. So that just
Yeah.
shows you in general, like, bro, this guy
He's talented.
is so talented, but he hasn't been playing.
He was one of those players that, you know what, like pure talent, eye test, he's passing it all
my
day,
gosh, all day long.
but he just never really put up like crazy numbers. So I'm kind of glad that he played a little bit, his best football a little bit before today's time, because I feel like today, all everyone cares about is the numbers. They don't
Yeah.
care how they're performing on the field. They don't care, like, they don't actually watch the game. They look at stats only.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if he played his prime today, he wouldn't be as respected as he should be, just because he didn't put up the numbers like some of these other guys. You know what I mean? Like Salah, crazy numbers, but eye test,
Still has
not
good
the
eye
same
test.
as Hazard though. Like they're not writing the same test. I'm sorry.
No,
No, I agree.
You know,
different test for sure.
I
Yeah.
would say different tests, but I would say Salah's
it's like academic and applied.
Yeah.
What
It's
about
like,
locally
it's like
developed?
college and university. Different test, bro.
Okay.
No,
Yeah, Hazard has a better eye test, but I'm
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
don't disrespect Salah.
I'm not
No
disrespecting
one's
him.
He still has a
disrespecting
great eye
A
test.
I'm just
degree's
saying-
a degree.
I'm just saying it's a different test. It's a different test. But
The thing is, Salah wasn't doing what Hazard was doing on the pitch, as in taking the game by itself on his throat and just dominating.
by the scruff of his neck.
Exactly. Salah's not doing that, is he?
Mm.
And what
He-
players did Hazard really have around him that were like not world class, but at a top level like him at Chelsea? Those prime days.
Demba Ba,
Who else?
I mean,
Marco Marin.
Marco Marin.
I know in the midfield, like that, I think 2012, 2013, they had
Mhm.
a pretty good mid. They had him, Mata, I think
Yeah,
Oscar,
Mata was good.
Ramirez.
Mata.
and Oscar as well too.
Ramirez.
So
Yeah.
they had like a
John
good
B. Mikel.
midfield at that time,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like in terms of attacking output, did they have like anyone like really world class?
It was him, Ba, Torres. Was Torres there at that time, right? Yeah.
2018. They won Europa League 2018.
Yeah, but like he didn't. I guess he did enough.
What do you mean?
That wasn't his best year.
No, but 2018 he was cooking. 2018
Who?
Hazard.
Oh yeah.
Wasn't he man of the match in the final?
Was he? I
he
can't
might,
remember.
he might have been.
I can't remember back then, but yeah, Hazard was a baller. Definitely not top 5 this generation, but you put an argument for him if you really tried.
Yeah, you could.
No, it's definitely arguments, man. And especially like players in their prime. If you're to do like a players in their prime.
Like
Type
just
of-
pure like
Yeah.
talent, like just gifted.
yeah. Some players, some
He's
people
gifted.
choose them.
Yeah, he's gifted.
At his prime, he was marketed at 150 mil, and I think Madrid bought him at like 120.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Obviously, a terrible investment on their end.
Oh yeah, for sure, because he barely played.
But what would you? I know it was recent. It's still like what four years ago, whatever. But at his prime, like, what would his market value be today?
At his prime.
Today,
150,
does it make
100,
sense?
120. 120 doesn't even sound like terrible.
120 is a lot.
I'd
me.
say 150 at least
For his
Yeah.
at his
for his
prime?
prime.
150,
Yeah.
If Harry Kane's going for 120, he could go for at least.
Actually,
95 here.
Actually, 95. They came out saying that. Yeah, it was only 95.
Because Hazard, like, he's the type of guy that could be unplayable in a game.
Yeah,
Right?
he
100%.
takes
man.
over
He
the
takes
game. Takes over the game.
over the game easily, and he just creates. He doesn't need that
Yeah.
other star around him.
I mean, considering like when he was in his prime, you had guys like Dembele selling for
Yeah.
130, 140 mil. Griezmann, Coutinho, like these are the kind of names that are being sold for that kind of dollar.
Mhm.
So for me, I don't have a problem like 150 mil, like Hazard in his prime. Like you're probably like doing good business there. Like you know,
Yeah.
like maybe he should have left Chelsea a little bit earlier, but the story is how she goes,
I
and
think he should have stayed at Chelsea.
maybe. But like at the end of the
Yeah,
day,
well.
like dude, when Madrid comes calling,
Yeah.
Didn't Chelsea have a transfer ban at that point, and that's why
wow,
he
who
got
knows?
sold? He
Probably.
got sold the year after, I think,
Something like
because
that.
Madrid came begging. And who's gonna say no to Madrid?
Yeah,
right?
you can't say no to Madrid, man. Not even you would say no to Madrid.
I think we discussed this before, bro. Easily saying no.
Okay, but we're talking a lot of like good about Hazard, but I think he was the number one worst signing of all time.
Of all time.
120 million.
We got hurt.
Doesn't matter. That's part of the signing. 120 million for a couple of games that he played pretty damn shit.
What's the saying? You're only as good as.
Is the amount of games you play?
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
not- yeah.
I don't know.
What
Is
about
that
what
something
about
or-
like Coutinho?
Is he as bad as Hazard?
Being-
Because you got money back for him.
We got money back, but also like we said, being available.
Coutinho wasn't really
Availability is the best ability.
Exactly.
That's what it
That's
was.
the saying.
But-
yeah,
Like you got money back for
How many
Coutinho.
games did he play for Madrid?
not many.
You got money back for Dembele.
I think-
You got money back for all these players.
Because he was there, what, 4 years, I
Yeah.
think?
He had like a
Wasn't
decent
it like
spell.
60 games?
He had like a little spell where he was cooking a little.
I think
bit.
it was no more than like 50 games.
Yeah,
man.
I think it was like 50 or
injuries,
60
man.
games.
Injuries are tough to
and a lot of them were off the bench.
tough to overcome
I
those
think I
injuries.
saw a stat that Bellingham, like, already for Madrid, has more goals than Hazard's whole career at Madrid.
That's
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he
for
probably
sure.
has more goals than Pedri too.
4 years, though.
Yeah, for sure. But like 4 years, he didn't play that many games, and
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
That's crazy though.
He probably doesn't have like what 15, 90-minute games in him. Out of those
Yeah,
50
Probably
games.
not much, right?
it's tough. It's tough.
But I'm ranking that as my number one most like failed signing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you would.
120 million down the drain. I mean, but it's Madrid. They'll bounce back.
Who was it that
nothing
actually
for them.
cracked them up? It was against Madrid game. It was in a Madrid game.
Thomas Meunier.
Was it Meunier?
I saw the clip today on Twitter.
Yeah, it was right because he tried to hop back on, but he couldn't get the cuts up.
Yeah, it was in Champions League game. Hazard was cooking. He was cooking that in the game, and then I think Meunier came in with like a weird
It
tackle,
was.
and then kind of messed up his ankle or whatever it was. And since then, he hasn't been the same.
November 26, 2019.
Meunier, right?
Yeah.
Thomas
Tackle.
Meunier, yeah.
Yeah. Belgian, fellow Belgian,
That's crazy.
Oh wow!
a fellow
know.
Belgian
Screwed him
too,
over.
taking out your guy like
I
that.
don't know. End of the day, like I feel like sometimes you hear the stories about Hazard, his little moments, his Chelsea moments with the Mario Kart situation. From many of you heard about that, and even his teammates at Madrid, Cruz, coming out saying there's players on this team that don't work hard and they deserve for what they get.
Yeah,
I feel like there's been players who've gone through worse injuries and have come back and performed and have
Yeah.
done well for themselves.
maybe he stopped caring.
And maybe he just was lucky that he was so talented as like naturally that he didn't really have to do much.
Didn't have to work
Just like
as hard.
Dino.
He didn't have to do much, so he was able to
Coast a little bit.
be at the top level at the very best. And even him just saying like don't worry about it, as long as the ball's on my feet, I can do whatever possible to win the game.
Yeah,
And that sometimes is it kind of cuts your career short. Not that he didn't have like a long career; he had also a very very successful one.
Yeah.
But what could have been if he had those moments in Madrid?
yeah,
What if it was a big Madrid
yeah.
legend or whatever it was?
Yeah.
But because he was at his prime, man, at his prime, Madrid could have been even better.
Yeah.
And they did win They won a how many Champions League with him on the bench?
He's got a couple.
Maybe two.
Yeah, two I think.
2 or
maybe.
3.
Because I have his accolades here, and he has 1 footballer player of the year for England. He has 3 football players of the year for his respective clubs. So 1 with Chelsea, 2 with Lille. He has 1 Champions League with Madrid for the 21-22 season. He has one Club World Cup with Madrid, but again, he didn't really do much of these trophies,
Yeah.
but he has them. He has 2 Premier League championship titles with Chelsea, 2 Spanish championships with Madrid, 1 title with Lille, another Supercopa with Madrid. He has 2 Europa Leagues with Chelsea, an FA Cup with Chelsea, and then he has some French trophies, Spanish Cup as well, Spanish Super Cup,
Yeah.
and the English Cup winner. So he
So he
has
did his thing.
He has a good he has some trophies to show off to the kids for the future. So
Yeah.
but what could have been?
Yeah.
If he did go out there and actually trained hard, recovered hard, did all of his physio and what it was. So
Yeah.
The thing with Hazard is like he has a lot of lows, but he also has a lot of highs.
Yeah.
Like lows in terms of going 364 days without scoring a goal. Kicking that ball boy, I think we all remember that.
Oh, the ball boy was crazy.
Obviously his stint at Madrid didn't go as planned. But then you got some crazy highs like the 2018 World Cup where Belgium finished in 3rd place, and he was phenomenal that
He was
tournament.
making these Brazilians look like crazy.
He was going off that tournament, man. And
Yeah.
then Lille just dominating Ligue 1, winning a title with them, being like the main man for them as like 19, 20, 18 years old. And then obviously his role at Chelsea and what he did there, just dominating games on his own, winning pretty much everything but a UCL.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that Hazard should be considered possibly for a Ballon d'Or. What do you guys think? Do you think he should have ever won a Ballon d'Or in his career?
The year before he went to Madrid. That was his best year for Chelsea. Did Chelsea win
2018.
the league? Did Chelsea win the league that year? I know they won the Europa, obviously.
I think they won just Europa. Chelsea haven't won the league. I think that was like by then Liverpool and City were just exchanging league wins. I feel like
under Saudi.
I think it was with Saudi. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's
Saudi,
tough
no, they didn't win the
with
league,
just
right?
Europa League. I think it's
Yeah.
tough to make a claim for Ballon d'Or, especially in a Messi Ronaldo era. And then that was the year I think Modric won. After that, right, with the World Cup kind of run.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely had the talent too, and I definitely think that maybe if he didn't play in an era with Messi and Ronaldo, one of those years he could have,
Say that about a lot of people.
yeah, you could. And I think maybe he'd be one of them. You know what I mean? Like if you were in like an era where it was a different player winning the Ballon d'Or every year, like it was, in the mid 2000s, then maybe Hazard would have been, had to shout him, Van Dijk, like Griezmann, like Neymar.
Xavi, Iniesta.
Yeah, right. But it's just one of those like, it's tough, man. It's
Annoying.
tough to be balling in an era with Messi, Ronaldo.
Yeah. And then, like we said, he could have been at that level if he was fit, man. You never know, right? Maybe not that level, but just like Neymar's level.
So I think Hazard's best Ballon d'Or finish was in 8th in 2018.
Eighth.
So he never cracked the top 3.
So when
tough to crack,
when
tough.
Hard to crack,
Modric won that year.
It's hard to crack it, bro.
What a player of his caliber, is it like unjust to say that he hasn't ever cracked the top 3?
No.
Well, circumstances as well, right? Like Chelsea obviously were in Europa League,
Yeah.
and like they weren't like obviously. You're looking at the teams that these players have played with, played on Messi, Ronaldo. Like these are world class teams. Not to say Chelsea weren't good the years he was there, but like they weren't that type of team. So
And as we said, he wasn't getting like his GA is not that good. He's never been like a top goal scorer, top assister. Yeah, he's got player of the month. He has player of the year, I'm pretty sure, in the Prem, I think you said. But he's never been that GA type of guy. And they didn't win too many trophies in 2018. I don't think they won anything that year.
Just
in
Europa
terms of like league title. Yeah, they won a Europa League, but that doesn't really go towards
yeah, you can't win a Europa.
doesn't really go towards the Ballon d'Or. It's
Ballon
more
d'Or.
so like CL.
They won Europa League and they won the English FA Cup.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think that's the year he did a good run in the World Cup.
In the
no?
World Cup, yeah.
So
But I mean, something like that
I
gets
might
you
push
like,
it.
top
Yeah.
10
top
Ballon
10.
d'Or finishes fair. Like,
Yeah.
did he have the talent to be top 3 Ballon d'Or finish? Sure. But he never really had like the accolades to go with it. Because as you know, you need not only the talent, but you need accolades. You need the stats. You need something else to kind of back it up. Because, dude, there's so many good players. You know what I mean? Based on talent alone, it's tough to make top 3. Unless you're doing something like at the highest level, like peak competitions, you know?
Yeah,
And the
'cause-
thing with Hazard is too, like he has no UCL moments. I think he only has 2 UCL knockout goals and like 5 UCL open play goals.
Mm.
Just nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, you could say the same about Suarez.
I mean, Suarez has a lot more than
Suarez
that.
has
Suarez was known for like not
crazy
performing
moments.
in away matches, but
Yeah.
he has a lot more than
You
that.
think of UCL, Suarez, W. Luis, that freaking Pana? goal?
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
moment,
that's
bro.
that's a
Moment
that's
Does
a
right
tough.
Hazard have
That
any
could be
UCL
so many
moments?
more.
Not that I can remember.
He's got World Cup
He's
moments.
got Europa
2018,
League
right?
moments.
It's tough.
It is
It's
what it
tough.
is, man.
Yeah, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, man. Fucking baller, bro.
Should
Yeah.
came to the MLS.
Yeah, people were saying it was a
TFC
little
could have
month-
used you
Nah.
when once Insigne is gone.
People were saying Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal,
Montreal
French
is bad
speaking
there.
area, maybe.
Maybe
But
he comes out of retirement.
who knows, man? Who knows?
So Hazard has most man of the match awards in the Premier League. Is it safe to say he's top 3 best ever Premier League players?
No.
No.
Top 3 best ever Premier League players, Eden Hazard.
Wow.
I think it's Thierry Henry for sure. It's got to be Mo Salah's in the top 3 now.
Nah,
Really?
it's tough
Yeah,
too. Then
Mo Salah's in
if
the top 3.
my definition of being one of the best in that league is if you have broken a record that's been there held for a long time. Let's say example Haaland, right?
So is Haaland top 3 already?
I could say yes, but at the same time,
Already?
but my test is also if you won like a ballon d'Or in that league as well, winning in that league, Ronaldo, right? Haaland, if he wins the ballon d'Or this year too, like that's crazy.
Top 3.
So you would put Michael Owen over
No.
these other 2 guys.
No,
that I
no,
just
no.
named.
No.
Hold on. So you said Ballon d'Or in the league.
Did he win it in the league?
Yeah, for Liverpool.
The pool.
It's debatable.
No, it's not. Michael Owen's not anywhere near Salah or
No.
who's the other guy I said? Thierry Henry.
Hazard? We're
Thierry-
talking
I
about
would
Hazard.
put- I
Yeah.
would put
No,
Thierry
Hazard
Henry.
doesn't make top 3.
I'll put Thierry Henry.
Henry.
It's Thierry Henry. It's Mo Salah's top 3. I'm sorry.
Really?
He is.
Is
He
he
is.
just
Then how
forwards?
come Hazard has more man of the match awards,
Doesn't
despite
matter.
having?
It doesn't matter.
Con,
You can have man of matches.
Like, are you
against-
talking forwards only?
Yeah, like you're just naming forwards.
yeah, we'll say
No,
just forwards.
but-
Give love to the midfielders and
No,
defenders, man.
I was gonna. I don't know who the third one is gonna be. Those I think those
Steven
two are.
Gerrard,
It could be Stevie G. It could be Lampard.
Ferdinand.
I don't think Fernand's in top 3.
No?
It could be like.
Patrick Vieira, Keane.
It could be like George Best. Who knows? I'm sure there's players.
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't put up top 3.
it's
tough.
But would you say
Very
he's a Chelsea?
yeah, he's a
legend?
Chelsea legend.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's right up there with Drogba for sure.
Him, Lampard, Drogba,
Probably like
Trinity.
the top 3.
Yeah, he might be
The
top
Holy
3
Trinity?
Chelsea.
Holy Trinity of Chelsea.
I think they should do
Terry.
they should do a statue for him.
Yeah, JT.
I don't know.
Terry's above.
Oh
him.
yeah, Terry there
And
too.
and
yeah.
Terry, yeah.
That's true.
And Petr Cech.
A check.
He might be top 10.
Over Hazard?
Petr Cech is over Hazard.
And Ashley Cole.
That's a lot.
These
No,
guys,
she goes not over
these
Hazard.
guys aren't above Hazard, dude. Come on.
No, Petr Cech, Terry's
Just, like,
above him.
general, like
100%.
legacy wise.
100%. Terry's for sure.
Ashley Cole was
I don't think Ashley
arguably
Cole
the best left back.
But he was also played for Arsenal.
Yeah, but his best days were at Chelsea.
So did Czech.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was towards the end of his career.
Yeah, but his best days were at Chelsea.
I guess.
Everyone says Ashley Cole's arguably the best left back in the Prem.
Yeah.
And people say Hazard's the best left wing in the Prem.
Oh.
Over who?
But I think having Salah over Hazard's a little crazy. Because Salah or
Sounds bad.
Hazard, like we were saying, way more man of the match awards,
So?
but significantly less GA.
For him to do that,
Despite
less
not
GA?
scoring or assisting,
what does that tell you?
eye test, bro.
he's
Eye test
cooking.
is superior.
Yeah.
Okay, but they do different things. Like Hazard's the type of guy to dribble past people. Just because you could dribble past people doesn't make you the better
But
player.
he would also win games on his
Hazard
own
wasn't-
doing that.
Hazard wasn't the better player.
You don't
Why
think
does he
so?
get the better man of the matches?
You don't think he's a better player
He's
than
not a better
Salah?
player.
Really?
He's a better dribbler. I'll give him a better dribbler.
I'd say he's a better player.
I
He's
think
not.
Hazard's like also up there for like most dribbles completed, most fouls won as well too.
Yeah, he's a better dribbler for sure. But I mean, Jack Grealish loves getting fouls too. Is he better than
Jack Grealish.
I don't know,
No.
man. Hazard, I think, is like a different elk.
Different beast.
Like a different like type of player, man. Like almost
not
the
bad
last of a
Salah. dying
dying breed.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
it's
He's
like
not
the-
bad. Salah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's better than Salah. The fact that he was able to get so many more random matches with the level GA he has, and like goals and assists obviously boost up your level of, I guess, man of the matches or your ratings at the end of the game. If I'm to do
Yeah.
that without getting as many GA, that tells you the quality of a player he was.
So much disrespect.
I would probably say Hazard.
You
over,
were disrespecting
I would probably say
Hazard.
Hazard over Salah.
You're disrespecting
Hazard, bro. Hazard
I
clears.
would.
Like
Hazard clears,
understand
in my
Salah's
opinion.
been consistent over a ton of seasons, but Hazard's prime and what he did for Chelsea,
Yeah.
crazy.
So tell me this, Spatty. Would you take Hazard in his prime or Salah in his
Salah.
prime?
Salah could win me a game.
No,
Hazard
can
could
win
win
you.
you a game.
Hazard can.
Hazard could win you a game
As
without
we
scoring
said,
or
Hazard
assisting.
Hazard, exactly.
As we said, Hazard. Where was he in CL?
He was in Europa League, bro. Winning the Europa League. What do
Yeah,
you
there you
mean?
go.
2 Europa Leagues.
2 Europa
Nice.
Leagues.
Where
He
was
has a
Salah in the World Cup?
Not
He
there.
plays for Egypt.
He played for Chelsea.
Okay, Chelsea.
Liverpool had a better team when they won the Champions League.
Yeah. Chelsea
and
never had
who
a
was the
team
key
as
player
well.
Chelsea
on
never
that
had a good
team?
team.
Salah was the key player on that
So
team.
Hazard was the best.
The year that they didn't have Salah, they didn't win the Champions League. The year they had Salah, they won Champions League.
What?
The year they didn't have Salah, they lost the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
The year they had Salah, they won the Champions League.
Okay.
Mhm.
Virgil van Dijk wasn't there.
He was there. Both
Yeah,
times.
there's definitely some key
Doesn't
players.
Salah also have like 0 goals in 14 finals?
So what?
Yeah. What did he do in the final?
I'm sure Hazard has that same stat.
I think he scored in a final. I remember he chipped someone in the Carabao Cup final.
Doesn't Hazard
game.
have 365 days without getting a goal?
Yeah,
yeah,
he
that
does.
was in his.
That was in his prime.
That's tough. That's
No,
tough.
That is tough.
That
That's
was in his
tough.
prime.
That's a tough
That's a
stat to
tough
bring
one,
up,
bro.
but I think you can make an argument for both players. Me personally, I like Hazard.
Yeah. I taking
Yeah,
Hazard.
me
bro.
personally, but who am I?
Yeah,
We-
I
we
test
got-
his.
Who
Who
am
am I? I'm just a footballer.
Who am
you
I?
know?
I test his Hazard, but better overall player Salah.
Maybe. Dan?
I got Hazard too.
Why?
Is what it is.
Just cause, man.
4v1's crazy.
Is what it is though.
It's almost a unanimous decision over here. But
Almost,
this guy
but-
has to
but
be
it's
a little
not.
bit different, as always.
It's almost.
I'm not mad at it, but
Yeah, I don't hate
I'm mad at it.
I don't hate
yeah,
it.
I'm
Like,
not that
disrespectful,
mad.
man.
yeah.
Like maybe a little bit, but not that mad.
Like I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I'm
Like-
upset.
I'm not
not
gonna lose
upset.
sleep.
I'm upset.
Like maybe a little irked, but I'm not upset, you know? I still rate you, dude.
You're still a nice guy, but I just don't
I don't
rate
rate you,
that. I don't
guys.
rate that statement you just said.
Yeah.
So the thing about Hazard is he retired at what? 32 years old?
Yeah.
Mm.
I saw this chart based off minutes played by the age of 24. Hazard leads this chart
Crazy chart.
with 26,000 minutes, 26,649 minutes
Mm.
by the age of 24, and he's
Mhm.
the highest on this list. There's a few other players on this list whose careers kind of fizzled out by the time they got to like late 20s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Should coaches stop playing their players so many games to reduce fatigue, reduce
Injuries.
match load time, and just reduce injuries in general? Is it ruining players' careers by playing them too much?
110%. You've seen it with Barcelona.
Prime example.
Prime example. We had last year, Pedri was injured a lot.
This year,
No.
Pedri injured a lot.
This year, Pedri injured a lot.
Sounds like a Pedri.
Now we have someone like
Gavi.
and like Lamine Yamal, and I said it like I don't want him to be playing game in and game out. Like every
I said it
single
already
game.
too. I called it too.
Like when he started playing him as like starting him, I'm like, okay, this is too much now. I don't mind him coming on in 60th minute, 70th minute. He changes the game at that point too. Like I think he's more of a better. We can get more from him at that point. Whenever everyone's fatigued and he's got that pace, that raw talent, you can get so much more from him.
Mm.
But for him to be playing 60, 70 minutes, sometimes 90 minutes,
And he's grafting. He's doing the defensive work,
And-
going
and-
up against
yeah.
grown
And it's not like-
ass
and
Grown
men.
ass man, bro.
and it's not like he's a midfielder where obviously midfielders are very good and they know how to turn, but his whole game is being explosive.
and beating players
And
and
beating
winning
players.
fouls
So-
and getting tackled.
So you're
and-
gonna get tackled
Yeah.
a lot more as a winger, and you're also gonna use your agility and your pace.
yeah.
So there's a lot of times where you can get injured. You can get
Mhm.
those hamstring injuries where we've seen with Dembele get a lot.
Yeah.
Right? You're trying to get that fast movement. Those fast twitch muscles can get injured, and it's hard to see a young player coming on, and then you're like, something's gonna happen if he's playing too much.
Yep. They're doing what they did with Gavi too. Gavi's gonna slow.
Gavi too, yeah, and why is it always Barca players? Like, what other players?
Bro,
from
they
other
see a
teams?
young talent arise and they get desperate, bro. They're like, man, we need to play this guy. Like, he's so good. Why not play him? But
Yeah.
play him too much, starts getting injured.
But the thing is, like on the other side of the coin, you can say like if Hazard didn't play that many minutes and prove himself
yeah.
for that much time and that much game time, then maybe people don't rate him as much because if
Mhm.
you're not playing as much, you're not highly regarded. So if you're good, you're gonna play.
Yeah,
And I think that's at the end of the day, it's gonna happen no matter what, no matter how old you are. If you're good enough and you're making an impact on the game, you're gonna play and you're gonna want to play, right? Like obviously, I think you have to kind of take it easy in terms of like restrictions and things like that. But if you're the best player on the team at 19, 20 years old, the coach is gonna want to play you because at the end of the day, like
100%.
you want to
Yeah.
win games. And if you're showing out at that early age in your career, you're gonna want to play because you're thinking in your head like, I can be the next big thing. You're not gonna want to sit on the bench
yeah.
while you're watching your team play and maybe losing without you. You're going to want to be on that field. You're going to want to make an impact and you're going to want to be a star from like a young age. Like, you know what I mean? Like tough because, like, sure, you can say maybe it impacts the length of your career, but at the same time, if you're not playing when you're young, it's also impacting the length of your career because you're starting later, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be good later on in your career, especially some of these wingers and tricky players. They're best when they're young because they're fresh leg, they're quick, they're full of ideas, and as they get older, if they don't find a way to develop their game into something different, then that's when you see them kind of tail off. Wingers aren't going to be good in their 30s for the most part. You kind of lose your legs a little bit. You're not playing the same as you are when you're 19, 20, right?
Sometimes it's better to learn a little bit later on when you start getting minutes when you're older, because then that's when you start gaining experience quicker and you get smarter. You're kind of stupid when you're young. You just run, get the ball,
like Gavi,
and you're gonna just that's how you get injured.
Yeah.
When you get older, you're smarter. You know when to go, when to stop, how to move, when not to move. Like, you're just a smart player overall, so it's easier to learn as you get older. I want to ask a question. So, off the Hazard topic, would you rather a career like Hazard, who started off young, had a great career at the beginning, but then tailed off early, let's say late 20s, and then early 30s? So let's say your career is kind of over by the age of 29, okay? Or would you rather someone that I guess just burst onto the scene this year, Mitoma, who is 25?
So a late bloomer.
Late bloomer, 25, plays for Brighton right now, is wanted by big clubs, and possibly might get a big move in the future. So he's definitely going to be here for a while because of his late start. So he's probably going to go into his 30s and still be a good player. So let's say his career ended by 35, and he's playing for a top club. You could say Barca because that's your team, okay? You could say United. So would you rather have that career, or would you rather have Hazard's career where you start off young, you had all that time, and then you retire at 32?
Hazard.
You're
still having the same career at the top level,
and at the
same amount of time.
At the end of the day, players like Mitoma, I think, strong, good for him because he kept it going, kept the drive to continue to pursue his dream. Obviously, to play at the highest level, but sometimes players like that, they give up early,
and
right?
sometimes you can't always take that next step,
mm-hmm.
and maybe your chance of taking that next step, you're on a shorter leash because you're 27, you're 28. That team maybe isn't going to invest as much time in you as you are when you're 20, 21, 22, because that team can afford to hold on to you for 5 or 6 years to see what happens. If you're that age and let's say you go from Brighton to Madrid, if you don't show up in your first year or two, you're going to be forgotten about.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Madrid aren't going to have time for a 28-year-old who can't find their feet in La Liga.
Looking at the next 16-year-old, 17-year-old.
There's always someone next up.
Well,
right?
For example, Hazard, what time did he join there? He joined there when he was 27, 20, 30.
Oh, no. 28, 29?
Yeah, at his prime, right? But again, you have to go and you have to play.
Yeah.
Or else you're not, because then, you know what? Then you get dropped, then you get forgotten, and now you're retired.
Yeah.
And a player like Mitoma, sure, if he has an opportunity and he takes that move, you're still gambling.
You're still gambling. But at least in Hazard's case, you had that 10 years where you won in France, you won in England, you were crazy man of the match, crazy displays, you were
you got the bag,
you're a generational talent.
Yeah, you got the bag, you got everything you need, and I feel sure, you play at the highest level, you got the money, you got the accolades, you got the rewards, and sometimes it's good to retire young if you're able to, because you get to enjoy your life now.
Yeah,
and you have everything you need. Yeah. Players like Mitoma, they have to keep playing because they don't have those accolades, they don't have the money like some of these players do, right?
And I feel like it's cooler to go out as in a bang, go out you've seen players like Dino and Ronaldo, R9, that what if, man, he was so good but he got injured, and what if he could have stayed on.
It'll be talked about. It'll be one of those players that's talked
exactly.
about.
But a Mitoma situation, you'll hear that later on, but a Hazard, you're gonna hear that for the rest of it, for a long time.
Yeah, what if Hazard didn't get injured in Madrid?
So
what if he, took his training more seriously,
proper player, man?
Yeah, who knows what he could have done?
Maybe Mitoma wasn't a good example because it's not the same guy.
Mitoma but it's true.
How about Drogba?
Yeah, I was gonna say Drogba was a better one.
Now, what's your choice?
I think I'd still rather take Hazard's path because, imagine being the man at such a young age, bro. You're him, your club is depending on you. You're caring for your club. Like imagine that feeling as a teenager, pretty much.
Like you come up as a youth at Lille, and then boom, you're in the 11. And then within like a season or two, like you're the guy. Like you're carrying that team
Yeah.
to a title. Like that's like special.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Being that young guy, like, you know, there's the pressure's there, but you have this kind of swagger about you as like that
Yeah.
young guy leading your team. Like it's neat. You know, it's a neat feeling. I would imagine. Obviously,
And
never
we
been
knew
there,
about
but
him
like,
when he was at Lille.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a huge thing.
From FIFA.
But in
Yeah.
general,
Still knew about him, right?
Yeah. That
was
big
talented.
move to Chelsea and
Yeah.
what he did at Chelsea is like, Chelsea's a proper team.
yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
Yeah, and like his tweet was legendary. He said, "I'm signing for the Champions League winners,"
yeah.
and that's how he signed for Chelsea.
Yeah.
That's how he announced it, pretty much.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
But the thing about Hazard is like his career. Like a lot of people say it's a failure, but like he's been playing for 14 years, and let's say 10 of those years were him at his best, at the top. Is 10 years really that bad? You know what I mean?
No.
Man, players nowadays would do anything for the type of career he had.
Right?
You know what I mean? To have those 10 years, any player would want to have those 10 years.
Yeah, no.
Players don't have those 10 years that he's had.
And he captained his country.
And he captained his
Yeah.
country, going to the World Cup. Obviously, playing with a team that expects to do more, like Belgium.
Yeah, their golden generation, right?
Yeah, exactly. But for him to be a part of that golden generation, to bring so much pride to Belgium, like, what were Belgium before them?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
They're
And he leaded
small
them.
country.
So, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say, man. It's Hazard, like, he had an amazing career, and like, kudos to him. Like, bro, he went out on a bang. Like,
Yeah.
unfortunately, the injuries didn't, do good. But like, again, he went to Madrid.
Yeah.
He left. He fulfilled his goal,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
And the thing about Hazard too is like he like kept it real. Like he said, like the Ballon d'Or was never really a goal for mine. Like he was a player that just played because he wanted to play. Like it didn't seem
Yeah.
like he was in it for the money.
he
Like
loved the game.
he loved the game. And like
Yeah.
the thing is, you don't really see that too much with players nowadays. Like Miroslav Klose, he came out with a quote. He said, "I stopped playing football because I no longer recognized it. Today, young people think about other things. As a child, I only thought about training and becoming someone in the sport that I always loved. At Lazio and in the national team, after each training session, I put myself in a bathtub full of ice to avoid injuries. But the young people on the team systematically refused. When they saw me picking up the bags of balls to put them away at the end of training, they said to me, 'But who tells you to do that?' At that moment, I said to myself, 'You're 20 years old and you can't help a 60-year-old worker? They care more about whether their cleats go with their socks.' That's why I said stop. The football I know no longer exists. Today's young people think first of cars, contracts with their sponsors, and their new crampons. It's only after all these things that football comes. For them, their image is the most important thing. Whereas for me, all that mattered was football in its purest form." Do you guys think players nowadays, this new generation, just care about, the IG pics, like looking good on the pitch, this and that, the money? You think the game's gone dead?
Yo, Matt, you gotta relax with that, man.
I'm tearing up
Tearing
a little
up
bit
over
after
here,
hearing
man.
that, man. But
It's true, and like,
Legend.
yeah,
but it's not even in football. You see it in our daily lives.
I think in all sports,
All
in all
sports.
sports, in our daily lives in general. Like, kids nowadays don't have that respect.
social media.
Social media did that a lot, where they think that they deserve to be here, or they deserve this, they deserve that. None of us deserve nothing.
Yeah,
We gain that, you know what I mean? And we have to gain respect. You don't get respect, you gain that respect from people.
yeah,
And like he said, players think of fame first.
yeah.
You have guys like Garnacho who have cuts on his eyes, tattoos everywhere. It's like, focus on your game first before you start doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
the thing is nowadays, and the biggest example is the Beckham documentary. I'm not sure if you guys watched it or watched most of it, but there's been clips online too where, like Beckham, as people would say, we talked about this before, Beckham was kind of like the first to do it.
Yeah.
He was the first to break out of the sport and be kind of like a rock star of himself.
Become a brand.
Because back in the day, like, you're either a sports player, you played sports, sure, like you had your fan base, you had sports fans, but celebrities, rock stars were like obviously like the big fame. Nowadays, like, you compare some of these, like Ronaldo is the most followed person on Instagram now, right? Messi,
Yeah.
most liked picture or whatever. Like, to think of that back in the day, like, really, a footballer is gonna be more popular than
Yeah.
Jay-Z, Drake,
Like celebrities.
whoever these celebrities, like
Hollywood people,
musicians,
right?
like rock stars, whatever it was. And yeah, like, Beckham was the first to do it. And you know what? It brought the money. It brought the fame. It brought and not for anything, but Beckham was simply someone who grew up with almost little, and obviously reaching that kind of income and getting that like fame and stuff. Obviously, it comes to you and people love it. And nowadays, that's all it is about. It's either like, either they get the respect from the viewers and from the people around the world rather than like the fans of the team, or also they just chase the bag because that's where you get the sponsorships. That's where you get the money, right? And nowadays, it's the truth. It's the truth. Football is half the job, half the journey.
Yeah.
The other half is literally getting sponsorships and money.
Yeah.
And getting you're pretty much building your own brand.
Yeah.
Outside of the game.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah,
that's football nowadays.
A lot of players now think of how can I use my athleticism, my ability to play football to thrive and do other things. You know what I mean? What can I do afterwards maybe? What can I do this? Can I do this? But players nowadays don't just think about how can I just be better at football. You know what I mean? And one thing is like Brazilians are the example of they do really just care about, footy until afterwards where they start, doing their own thing. But at the beginning, like that's all they care about.
Money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But in the beginning, like you can tell it's football. Futebol is
That's the thing though, because you look at countries like Brazil, South America, any other countries that are really like some poverty places where, well, you can't just come out there and just be some superstar out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You have to literally play your game.
To graph.
Nowadays, like you see some of these kids, they're like stars before they're footballers. Their parents or families are putting them on the pedestal. Some teams are putting these players on the pedestal, getting sponsorships before they're even 10 years old, Nike deals, TV shows, whatever it is. Like, you have to play your game first before you can even think about that stuff, right? And then end of the day, that kind of hits you, and you're lucky enough, even if you make it, play first team football.
Yeah.
Man, you got people like Dino's son playing for Barcelona B or whatever, and like you see clips of him, he's like he can't even this guy can't even pass
bro.
guy can't even pass a ball, but because he's Dino's son, like
That's
that's
like a
the
different
thing,
thing,
like
though.
you know what I mean? Like these players nowadays, they think they can just become famous like that, and I made it. But it's about how can you stay up top, not just being at the top, staying at the top. And like Closa said, man, like these kids have no respect. Something as simple as just grabbing the balls after the game. That's something as a young player you should be doing.
Yeah.
In general, like this in your mind, you should be thinking, you know what? Maybe if I go help the gaffer pick up these balls, the trainer pick up these balls, the gaffer's gonna realize that I'm here to actually do
he's gonna
something.
notice you, right?
He's gonna notice me. I'm doing this work, extra work. Maybe he's gonna play me. But instead, the trainings.
But the thing is, I think the problem comes down to the clubs and sponsorships, like in specific, because you have players like Rodrigo, for example, plays on Madrid. This guy got a Nike sponsorship when he was 12, bro. 12 years old. Like, imagine being pampered at that age. And then obviously you come to Madrid, whatever, like one of the best teams in the world. You don't think like these players are like constantly pampered?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
It comes down to the clubs at the end of the day.
Yeah, the club,
And the
but
clubs
also the
instill
player.
those values on the player, right?
Yeah, I mean the club's always going to try to steer the players in the right direction, but like to me, like at least from what I know, like Rodrigo doesn't strike me as someone who's arrogant or
No, it was just an example.
no, I know, but I mean like he had all that stuff given to him,
Yeah.
but he doesn't come off as arrogant. He easily could be.
Yeah.
So obviously it comes down to like the player as well, how he was raised, maybe all those things that kind of go into it. And I'm sure the club, like if you're with the club for a long time, like you're going to have those values of the club instilled in you, right? Like when I think of, for an example, like Sancho, you know what I mean? Like crazy situation where, he went from being a wonder kid to now being like, exiled from the club because of, a lack of respect, like, not taking things seriously and, feeling like he was treated unfair because, Anthony was messing up but still being given chances where he wasn't being given a chance at all. Like in a situation like that, like you got to graft, you got to put your head down, you got to work, you have to keep on focusing on yourself rather than like a situation that's going on around you. And I think nowadays, like when players get things too young, like you said, like, they get that kind of taste of stardom too young, you kind of get that little bit of arrogance. Like
You get big headed.
I don't I don't deserve to be on the bench.
But that's
You know
kind
what
of
I mean?
that's kind of what's. It's good that we kind of have these topics today because it kind of goes off of the whole Hazard situation.
Yeah.
It's lucky for him that his talent really was the reason he's been playing football.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the talent, I'm pretty sure he would have had nothing. He doesn't have the mentality to keep working hard.
Doesn't have the work rate.
Doesn't have the work rate. Doesn't have the it's literally just mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of the day, if you don't have the mentality to go out there and perform and want to be the best and be the best, and it's crazy that he went out there and said Ballon d'Or isn't his goal, but most players they want to have that. That's the biggest, like one of the biggest accolades in the football in the world.
Player wants to strive to be the best,
right?
Obviously.
Even the World Cup, whatever it is. If you're coming out and really saying that, like that's not your goal, then as an individual, and that's kind of the most individual trophy there is in the game, like you kind of want to go and get it. Yeah. And that just shows that, hey, he's just here to play soccer.
He just wanted the ball.
He just wanted the ball. He's lucky enough that he had the talent, but he didn't really care to, pursue that one dream of becoming the best out there. Yeah. Because he mentally probably assumed he really was at the best he can be without having to try. Why not? Yeah. So,
my thing, you have to speak?
I'll go after you.
Yeah. Let me see. Just playing devil's advocate. Close to saying these kids don't really care.
Yeah.
But can you really blame these kids as well? You have, like you said, Nike knocking on your door at 12 years old, 14 years old. Hey, we want you. And then you have Adidas, you have Puma, you have all these brands coming to you. Are you not going to think you are that man or that, excuse my language, that shit? You know what I mean? Like, anyone at that age would be like that.
Yeah.
Like, imagine you having a Nike deal, going to class next day, and all your friends are like going crazy. The girl you always liked that never liked you finally likes you. You imagine like
secure the bag, bro.
Someone like Lamine Yamal, he's going into class after work, after the game.
He still lives in La Masia, bro.
Legit after work, because that's his job.
Yeah.
Playing a fucking footballer. That's crazy.
I know.
You think he's writing any tests, any exams? No, bro. He's going to class and going on his phone afterwards.
He's got the nerds writing it.
He doesn't care. Yeah.
Probably getting homeschooled at this point.
You mean, so like you can't. It's hard to blame the players as well. I think just. It's an industry at the end of the day, right?
Yeah. It's evolved. It's evolved.
It's all about money, and football evolved in a way where it's what's next. What's next?
But that's how the game grew. Also, that's how it became such a worldwide like sport, and that's why it's become what it is now, being the most viewed sport in the world.
The money, man.
It is the money.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like, yeah, it's true. These players don't have any choice but to be a star outside of football, because that's 50% of the job now.
Yeah, it's like if you're a team's best player, that team has millions of fans. So all of a sudden now you're overnight you're a superstar.
Yeah.
It's not your choice. You're going out there to ball, but now all these people, they idolize you. They follow you on every social media platform imaginable. They're sending you all kinds of, messages of like love and cheer and respect and all these things because what you're doing for their club. Right? So it's like you instantly become a superstar because of how big the game's gotten and how big it's grown, like worldwide.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're playing for Manchester United and you're doing bits, you're going to be a global superstar, like from India to China to USA to all around the world. Right? And it's how the game goes, but it's brilliant.
Yeah. And another thing as well, like we said it before, you can't know how long your football career will last.
Yeah.
An injury, you can get an injury next game like that and you're done. So for players to take advantage of the position that they're in and build a brand outside of football, because at the end of the day, yes, football is a job, but it's this one of the shortest jobs in general.
Yeah, very
Sports
short.
in general is such a small time in your life, right? 10, 15 years, 20 max.
If you're lucky, 20, bro.
If you're lucky, 20. So like for players to look ahead of that while they're playing football,
they're doing it right.
It's a smart thing to do, and I understand. But like, I understand where Close is coming from, but he's got that old mentality, and it's sad to see that that's gone. But that's just life, man. Everything evolves, everything changes, and nowadays you got to look for the future. What do I have planned for the future? Again, like we said, one small injury, you're done. Close in his time, or a player like Maradona, he gets injured. What does he do after that? You know what I mean? What does a player do after that?
Mailman.
So, like, you have to think of the future. And, yeah, of course, you want these players to think about now. But I'm just saying it's a hard situation, man.
I was going to just say what you guys pretty much just said. There's too much money in the game. And what Costa said is right.
100% he's right.
Because you have these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds that are making probably more money than he made when he played.
Yeah.
Jealous.
And like you might be a little bit jealous.
Sancho's on $300K a week.
And then even Mauro Icardi, did you hear he bought one of the most expensive Rolls Royce, $25 million?
Yeah, probably.
25 million?
But Mauro Icardi.
Him and his wife both have money though.
Yeah, but you know what I mean?
But yeah, but like these young players be getting huge contracts like this already at this young age? Should there be like caps for a certain age?
Of course not.
Or should you be getting like a youth academy. If you come up from the youth academy, there's like a certain contract for that for a couple of years.
rookie pay or
a
something.
rookie pay or something.
I'm
Like
sure
how
there
how
is.
they have in like the NBA and NHL and NFL and stuff like that. But that won't be. There's just too much money in this game.
Yeah.
Then you got them going for huge price tags, which also gives them a big head.
Mbappe.
Mbappe, like look, he literally owns the club now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys said it. The clubs give these players too much privilege. So like they're gonna. Okay, a prime example.
You're getting too excited or
Prime
something.
example,
Fired up.
like this is not even a big team. Like they should not have heads like
Is it a
this.
Juve player?
No. It's like I'm not gonna
I was
I'm not gonna name the club, but it's our local club, and like we went to their stadium, and one of their players literally just like he knows us, and he just walks by us like he's bigger than us, or like he's too good for us. Like that just shows you like he's not making more than us, but because he's a professional player, he thinks he has the right to be like a big shit. Like no, like have some like be brought, come back down to earth. Be respectful to everybody around you. Why do you got to be like this? This should be. This is like this. This is your fans. You should be showing respect for your fans. And another example is Cancelo to his fans. Like you guys are out here every day.
yeah.
Why do I got to take pictures with you every day? Like man, these are your fans. Take pictures with them. You're not even good enough to start for other teams. You're lucky that this team gave you a chance.
That's one thing.
Respect your fans, man.
That's
He's
one
good
thing
enough,
I never understood, and like it's
Wow.
but
He's
it's,
good
no,
enough,
but
bro.
you're right. Like these players nowadays don't have respect, and it's such a simple thing, but a lot of people don't have it. Respect. A young fan coming out every single day that tells you how much he loves you.
Yeah.
As a player, and for you it might be just a signature, but for them it's a lifetime memory.
That's gonna get hung
They-
up in their room.
They tell
pass
their
on to their
kids,
kids.
exactly, and it's like you see players like Heung-min's son, like someone who has so much respect for his elders, for anyone, for all the people he plays for, people he doesn't even know. He always gives them respect. Why is he so much different than other players?
Raised the right.
Raised
Yeah,
right,
Culture too,
Culture.
right? Culture is different.
but like that's something everyone should strive to be like someone like Son, or no one understands that the money, the fame doesn't go above respect, friends, family, and just common knowledge, right? Like you gotta be respectful.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean-
sorry. Go ahead.
The thing about Cancelo, like he like basically came back at that video saying, like giving his like side of the story, and he said, "The stupidity that is written here in comments, I have several things to say. First, they're not followers. They're 20-year-old kids who are there every day, whether the door of the training center or when I'm with my daughter in a park or having a simple dinner with my girlfriend. Second, ask for autographs in sweaters for me to sign to be sold later. And this repeats every day and always the same people. There are people who don't know how to respect each other's space. For people who criticize, try to know the reality of the fact first and then comment. Because true followers, I'll always respect." So there's two sides to every coin.
Okay.
You're not wrong though.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scummy people that they do just
Fair
come out with like bundles of like either soccer cards or jerseys, and they have them sign. Like I saw a video of, I think it was Haller or someone. They're like, this guy had like a booklet of like his cards, and he's like, I'm only signing one because I know what you're gonna do with
I
these
got the
after.
whole chrome top
He's-
set, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I know you're gonna sell these after.
Yeah.
So he's like, which one do you want me to sign? I'm only signing one. The guy's like, sign me the sign, please.
It's fair.
Because there's a lot of people who are gonna take advantage of who you are, the position that you are. So you gotta know both sides of the coin, right?
Yeah, there's always two sides to the story. Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, but even going back a little bit to like the whole Beckham thing, like even managers today, I'm sure they're dealing with even like twice the amount of work than they did before. Nowadays, like they're just doing, are they showing up on time? Are they coming to training? Are they partying late night? Like what are they doing when they're at home? Are they really caring about Are they rehabilitating off hours? Are they doing all this other work? Even like you said, the closer thing, these kids don't even want to take ice baths,
Yeah.
right? Like there's stuff you do at work and there's stuff you do at home, right? Like homework, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So even now, back to the whole Beckham thing, like he would even ask, like, who's your partner? Does she have a good family? Does she have a good job? Is she, is she gonna give you like, is she a model, whatever? Is she gonna start taking you out at night? Is she gonna be making you, stay up late, do all this stuff? Because that's one thing Beckham would do. Beckham would literally drive from Manchester to London just to see his girl for like a couple minutes and drive back, and that's 4 hours there and back. 4 hours there, 4 hours back.
Damn.
So imagine this guy being ready for a game. He's driving to go meet his girlfriend in London. He's having to drive 8 hours, getting home like late at night, and having an early morning fixture. Like that's why sometimes like it's football does come first. Because in the day, if you're paying players these wages, paying players these salaries, whatever it is, giving everything, and they don't respect the sport, they don't respect their managers, they don't respect the team, that's also part of the game too. And the day you're paying them to be here and to perform. They can't be laddling off over there doing their own thing. And then, yeah, that's kind of the main thing now, because I'm sure managers deal with that shit all the time.
Oh,
and you see and you hear the stories. The players don't show up. The players don't come to train. You know, there's a fines, there's that. But, you know, at the end of the day, they don't care.
Fines, yeah. When they're making that much money, they don't care.
Yeah, it's nothing to them.
But that's also how you find that needle in the haystack. You know, like that player that's gonna be good because he's not like the rest of them where they're partying afterwards. That's when you find out those real players from the others. You know what I mean? Like, well, hopefully someone like those young guys like Gavi, Yamal, like Pedri. I hope they're not going out and partying at night because those guys are generational talents, right? Someone like Sancho, generational talent. Maybe he was doing some partying
Man,
too much.
nowadays,
you know what I mean?
to be one of the best, there's so many factors.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest reason why Ronaldo is the player he is, because he's checked off everything to make it possible for him to become one of the best ever, or like the best or one of the best ever. Because at the end of the day, sure he'd party, but he knows when to stop. Wouldn't do any drugs, whatever it is. You know, wouldn't eat bad. The whole Coke thing with the water thing. You know what I mean? Drinking water, taking care of his body outside of the game, like. That's how you know. That's how you separate the weak-minded players, the mentality, to like some of the best out there.
Yeah.
Because sure, you have the talent like Hazard, but hey, man, that separates you from becoming the greatest of all time.
One thing you notice with all these great legends, GOATs, they've all gone through the struggle. They've all had those hard lives when growing up. You know what I mean? And they don't take football for granted. That's what it is. Kids nowadays take it for granted. You don't see someone like Ronaldo coming out of the slums, had to move. Messi had to go to a different country. You know what I mean? These players who were living in the favelas, playing with, look at someone like Gabriel Jesus. He was painting the streets of the World Cup, and now he's playing the World Cup. These players don't take that stuff for granted.
You shouldn't, right?
Right? And you shouldn't. Like, this is a sport that's giving you so much, and you're just like
Throwing it away.
You're throwing it away in a way, you know, in a sense, right? It's like this sport is giving you so much, and you're treating it like it's second class type of thing, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard situation. Like, you understand a player side as well. Like, they're put into this situation, so it's hard to like kind of like focus on it when you're doing something else. But like, it's also like it's football. You gotta respect the sport. So
Yeah, and of course, like, hey, like, you gotta put it this way. Let's say,
And it ended off here for us.
yeah, let's say I was a professional player, right?
End it off for us, Chris.
And then you guys are like, oh, let's go out. I'm like, nah, I have a game tomorrow. Like, come on, we're not really gonna go for a couple. That's one night. We'll go get drinks and we'll go home. I end up going out. Ends up being 2:00. I go that game tired. Now the next week or in 2 weeks, you guys, hey, let's go. We're going out. Same thing. Like, it's hard. It's hard for people to say no to, like, when friends are peer pressuring them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they could lose their friends over soccer.
No, that's where you have to find the right friends to be around, the right people to be around you to support your dreams. And at the same time, that's how people, at the end of the day, that's how people choose the right people to be around.
Yeah.
And they lose friends, they lose their friendships. But
like I'm saying, like, I could see these players like being like this because their friends kind of pressure them
Their
to,
surroundings.
and they have money to do it now, which makes it even more,
Harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
even more of a need to go.
Yeah, there's not many players that can do it, but those players that can do it, that can stay focused, those are the ones that become true gems.
Could you
of
have
the
done
sport. If I could have done it, 100%, man.
But
Injuries, man.
My knees.
My knees, boys.
My knees.
My knees be crackling.
You used to play for the
Crack,
Darien
snackle,
Devils.
crack, snackle, pop, bro.
cracks, what?
Crack,
Snap, crackle, pop.
bro. Snap, crackle, pop.
talk about a different kind of crack,
We're
bro.
talking about some off-brand.
Different kind of crack rock, bro.
Before we end off, again, we had a lot of great stuff today. A lot of like topics that really meshed well together, and it kind of just brought the whole,
A lot of topics that hit the heart. you know?
really brought the sport together.
Very wholesome episode.
Awesome, yeah.
I have to go for a little dip.
Sip of what?
Huh?
Just going for a little dip in the water.
We dip. Let's talk about the City Arsenal fixture, man. That was crazy. City are back-to-back losses for the first time in a
Three,
minute.
no?
Three in a row.
3 in a row.
Yeah.
3 domestic defeats in a
Three
row.
without Rodri.
And is that why?
Yes.
Just to end off
Wait,
here with
wait,
this
wait,
episode.
wait. What about De Bruyne?
Yeah, him too.
Yeah, what about De Bruyne?
Nah,
They were winning when they didn't have De Bruyne and Rodri was
I'm
there.
sorry, De Bruyne is a bigger loss than
No,
Rodri.
No.
Rodri is.
What
a
do you
loss.
mean? No.
No.
100% Rodri.
No.
They were winning with Rodri there and De Bruyne not being there.
Is-
As soon as
is-
Rodri wasn't there, they lost every single game. The first game.
De Bruyne is legit the master key to Haaland.
They've won a
It's not about
final
scoring
without
goals.
De Bruyne.
They have to score to win.
Yeah, but they also don't have to concede.
Yeah, but the best way to defending is scoring.
The
Mm,
best
goals.
The best way to scoring is defending.
Yeah.
Other way around, no.
No, the best way to win a game is score. You don't win
It's
a
to
game by
defend.
defending better.
Yeah, Dave has
You
a
have to
point.
score a goal at the end of the day to win.
They won a CL final without De Bruyne.
Okay, but yes, De Bruyne is the master key to Haaland,
He's
unlocking
not.
Haaland.
He's not.
You don't
I mean,
think he'd
no,
have
he's
more
not.
goals if De Bruyne was in the?
Maybe,
What
but
do you mean? Maybe. We're
He-
talking about a world class
okay.
generational
De Bruyne
player.
is sure. De Bruyne is the master key to Haaland, but Rodri is the master key for this Man City side.
I'm sorry. Man City should be doing more than well with this team that they have. It's Haaland
should.
who's not doing his thing.
What do you mean? They were
It's not
doing it
getting
without
started.
Haaland last season.
Yeah.
Before
But-
last season, yeah. But
service
again,
is
And look who's there?
Exactly. What service is he getting?
Yeah, okay.
You need the Rodri's not sending in balls. It's De Bruyne.
Rodri was
Rodri balances
Come on,
the team.
bro. It's De Bruyne.
Rodri being there allows players like Grealish, like Bernardo, like
Would you?
Foden, like Alvarez to play more freely because you have that dominant anchor that you know is always going to be there to control the game.
And
Who was playing
even-
6?
even the defense too.
Who was playing 6? Calvin Phillips?
no.
No, it was
Lewis?
Rico
Rico
Lewis?
Kovacic?
Yeah, Rico
A
Lewis.
youth
Lewis
player.
and
Like,
Kovacic,
come
so
on.
those are two pivots.
These are different levels.
Even the defense too, because they're having to stop more shots.
Yeah.
Where, you know, that's how they scored the goal. Ake off the face.
You
expect
don't
these
have
world-class players
you
to
don't
do
have
it.
the same control over the game with Rico Lewis and Kovacic that you do when you have Rodri.
And then you see, you even saw Kovacic getting into a lot of tackles. Almost, he should have
Should've
gotten a
gotten
red.
a
He
red.
should have
Should've
gotten a red.
that was a
He
crazy
should have gotten a red.
call.
Even if it wasn't for that one tackle, but he got multiple fouls into
Yeah.
that game where he should have gotten a red. And that's where it comes down to. Look at even United, Casemiro. Like he's in a position where he has to now tackle every single moment because he has nothing around him,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. But you know what I mean. The midfield is
But I don't understand why they didn't play Nunj when I don't see anything special in
Lewis.
sorry, what was his name? Lewis.
He's a fullback.
Yeah, I know he's a fullback,
Yeah.
but like I'm saying at CDM position, I didn't see anything special in him. I don't know why he started.
How often has he played there though?
No, it doesn't matter. But like this is a big game. Do you play someone that hasn't played?
Is Stones
CDM?
injured?
Stones came on.
afterwards.
He should have started, man. He played that role
Yeah,
many
he
times.
could've
But
started.
Stones is just coming back from injury,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, but like
Not even that, like, bro.
man, they spent 60 on Nunj. Just play Nunj. He's a
he
CDM.
spent and also think Calvin Phillips.
He's just
Yeah,
there, but
he's-
he's not.
I don't know
he's
why
there.
he
Well, you
Calvin
think
Phillips
Rico Lewis is better than Calvin Phillips? In
No,
the midfield?
no, probably
no.
not.
Like a
Clearly,
vibe signing,
clearly
bro.
he's doing something
in training.
in training to impress Pep enough to play him.
I don't know,
I
man.
think
There's a
Pep-
reason he's playing
Well,
over.
Rico Lewis?
There's a reason
No.
Rico
Bro, didn't
Lewis
Pep
is
say
playing.
like he's like one of like the most like one of the best players you've seen in training?
Yeah.
Ah, shut up.
I don't know. But my question here is to kind of wrap it up.
Mm.
I saw this quote on Twitter. Not the exact quote I'm going to say, but we're seeing Man City now struggling a little bit. And we've been seeing a lot of tinkering from Pep. And we've seen it in the past. But now we're seeing like inverted this, inverted fullback, center back is in midfield, midfielders playing on the wing, strikers playing in the midfield. Is he doing too much? Is there a point where you need to go almost back to basics and just let the players ball?
Mhm.
But is
That's
he
my question.
is he doing too much if other people are copying him? Is he doing too much if he's winning 4 or 5 prems in 6 years? The results speak for themselves. It's working.
You
But
think so?
at a certain point, it kind of does there's no options left. You know what I mean? And it comes to a point where maybe some of the teams are now able to, understand what needs to get done to kind of shut that Guardiola play style down.
Like he's obviously doing these things to get the upper hand on teams, and then teams figure it out. So he has to think of something else. But like,
You're doing too much, man.
Like,
you're
you're
playing
just
someone like Rico Lewis in the midfield. When you sign someone like Calvin Phillips or Nunes, imagine being on the bench as Phillips or Nunes. And you're like, Pep's playing this guy in the midfield. I got signed. He's not even a midfielder.
it's crazy.
You're playing him over
You'd
me.
think,
How old
but-
is this guy? You know what I
18,
mean?
bro.
But
18 years
talent,
old.
at the end of the day, talent is talent,
Yeah.
right? And obviously, there's a reason why it's happening. But I don't know. I just think it's wild nowadays. Like,
Yeah. Sometimes I think at the end of the day, bro, if your midfielder goes injured, let's keep it simple and put in a midfielder. Don't go and put in a right back or a striker midfield now. Don't. If your
But-
winger's injured, go put a winger in. Substitute a winger in. Stop
They're playing
striker.
pretty attacking because they had Alvarez, Haaland, Foden, and who else over there? Was it Bernardo?
Oh, Bernardo.
Bernardo, yeah.
Bernardo and then Doku.
And
came
there's literally
on
just
after.
Kovacic and thing in the
Doku came on.
midfield.
Yeah.
Like, they kind of were left a little bit like
Stranded,
stranded in the midfield.
When you have
especially-
Rodri there, maybe you can do it.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Like, seriously? Is it Pep that makes this team good, or is it the players that make this team good? Because
It's both.
if it shows that without, let's say, I'm going to say the prime is Rodri, but without Rodri and De Bruyne, like, this team's shit.
I don't know about
It's shit. They got dominated by
Well,
Arsenal.
it's hard to say that
They did.
when those two players are top players in their position.
It doesn't matter. Look at their depth.
Arsenal
Still.
are also missing players.
You take out two of your best players, you don't think that team's gonna do any
It's
worse?
still,
But
like, their
Arsenal-
depth is enough to
Arsenal are missing
easily replace
Saka.
them.
They're
Yeah,
missing
that
Saka
too.
and
That's
Martinelli
crazy.
came off the bench. Like it wasn't exactly like a full strength Arsenal team. Like both teams were missing key players.
And Arteta did well with the players he had.
Yeah, I don't know. I love Pep. I think he's like obviously the GOAT. But I don't know. I just think like it gets to a point where maybe you got to go back to basics and
Yeah,
like,
relax with all this
let the
stuff.
players ball. Like you know what I mean? Like the players are here for a reason. Obviously they're very talented. Obviously he knows what he's doing.
I want to see Pep with a team that he can't spend $1 billion.
Well, that's not gonna happen, right? But like I don't know. Like obviously he has like great ideas and he's obviously revolutionizing the game because like you said, people are copying him. So he's obviously doing something right to take over these games. But I don't know. I think like it gets to a point where it's like it's too much.
100%.
He's getting into his own head.
Yeah.
What can I do now? to
100%.
fix this game.
Yeah.
Yep, and that was
simple, boys.
that was Premier League from this weekend. Nothing really else special, you know.
Premier
But-
League footy.
But you know, we got the international football coming up.
Yeah.
Best time.
Big fixtures
Most
there.
wonderful time of the year, bro.
Some big qualifiers.
Wonderful time.
But again, thanks to you all for tuning in. We appreciate you all. It was a great episode today. A lot of chat, a lot of wholesome stuff. You know, Hazard retiring, closer thinking that this generation is lost. Some of these footballers, you know, being a little arrogant. And yeah, like again, we appreciate you all for tuning in. If you've come this far, remember to hit that like button.
Yes, guys, come on.
Leave us a comment because we want to start commenting, mentioning you guys' comments, letting us know what you guys are thoughts, any cool ideas you guys have for the future, any of your own opinions, anything we should discuss here. But again, thanks for tuning in. We love you all. Share, like, subscribe, and you know who we are.
Subscribe, boys. Come on.
We do
Culture, man.
Ciao, ciao. Yes, him.
Ciao, Bellas.